Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Tuesday Night Football Show. My name is Muffins. We'll get to the other guys in a second. This is where we start your NFL week early, and we have a great show on tap for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get it started. How we doing, everybody?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
What's going on?
I mean, it's been an interesting week. Probably my favorite week in the NFL so far.
I bet it has been. I
cannot relate. I cannot relate.
Oh, wait, look at that. Hey, John, what's up? What's happening?
Hey, John, how you doing, man?
John, oh, you know, guys, I'm doing good, man. Just relaxing.
That's probably what he's doing.
That is kind of how he sounds too, huh?
Absolutely repping the Cup jersey. I love the turnaround, John.
Because I love him so much, you know, Cup. I was hating on him, but now I'm not.
Fucking traitor. Anyway.
All right, Caleb, kick us off. What we got on the recaps?
Yeah, man. Let's kick it off with one of, if not the best game from this weekend. Bills Chiefs was a huge, huge game. Thank you to Buffalo for not just allowing Kansas City to win again. They finally ended the win streak for the Kansas City Chiefs. Massive. Josh Allen proving once again, at least in the regular season, he owns the Chiefs. In the playoffs, not so much, but we don't got to talk about that.
I just will say this out loud so everybody is aware that Josh Allen was my boom of the week.
Yeah, so I learned I not pick Josh Allen because every time I do the man bust. So, you know, I'm like, I'm going to stay off that train, but he absolutely did boom, put the team on his back.
I told you guys.
It honestly should have happened last week. The Chiefs should have lost their first game last week. But
right.
Everybody and their mom can see them losing this week, and it absolutely happened right on script, right on cue.
Beautiful. I love it. I mean, Josh Allen had a great game. I mean, just under 300 passing yards, which is amazing. Only one interception, which is great. He's still keeping that, you know, protecting the football a little bit. He's thrown a few more interceptions, but he's still protecting the football, and it's allowing the Bills to win continuously week after week.
Absolutely, and taking no sacks in the game, by the way. Something that he was not very good at last year.
Well, you see what you saw. He had to play. He was playing some man ball, like running.
The man always plays some man ball.
I know,
he's been doing that every season. Every week, every season. He's just putting the Bills on his back week after week, especially with this year. They've had a little bit of a diminished receiving core this year. I mean, obviously losing Stephon Diggs. They brought in Amari Cooper, who has been, you know, he's been good when he's there, but he's been injured, which is not good for them.
He's not 100%, but when he is, playoff time, he'll be 100%, and he'll be ready to go.
That's always hope.
Yeah.
When it comes to the clutch time, can he perform?
All right, so moving on. Okay, guys, I just want to get this out the way before Muffins gets to it. You see me
gonna get to it.
You see me wearing this ugly-ass hat. So last week, me and Muffins, you know, we played his team, my team. Well, we didn't play, but we felt like we were there. His team, my team. We had a bet, Philly versus Washington. Obviously, you know who I rep at all times, but I lost. And I was going to have to, the bet was I had to wear a jersey, some green draws, you know, the full-on thing. I obviously don't own a Philly jersey, but Muffins came with like 2-3 jerseys for me to choose from.
I let this man pick from the treasure trove.
Guys, I was gonna wear the jersey, but unfortunately, I'm too fat, or slim thick, however you want to call it. So I am repping the Eagles jersey. You see, I got it right here. But he did bring a hat. So you'll see me with this hat on this show. Guys, just know my Washington fam, I'm with you. So I still got jersey. You know, I had to wear something. I'm still repping. But I had to get that out the way because I'm sure Muffins can't wait to bring it back up.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do that.
All right. So what I wanted to talk about was Green Bay, Chicago. Did anybody watch that game? How Chicago loses from a blocked kick. I think that's like not Chicago, but like the third or fourth block kick at the end of a game this season.
Something like that, yeah, because it happened to Kansas City Broncos this last week as well.
Caleb Williams played decent. He had a good game, led the team down the field, put him in field goal range to win the game.
Absolutely.
And they lose by 1 point because the field goal gets blocked. And when I saw it, I mean, the guy got his fingernail, not even the fingertip. The nail on his finger touched the ball. It made it not go in the field goal.
Honestly, I don't even understand it, though, because when you look at one of the things I always look for in a game is the third down efficiency. The Packers converted 1 third down the entire game. and they still won this goddamn
Still
game.
won
Are
the
you
game.
kidding me?
Still
It's
won the game.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's what I said.
Now that could be a good thing because they were so good they never got to a third down very much. You know what I mean? But still, they only converted one third down.
One
and they
third
still
down
won.
and
That
still
is,
won the game?
I cannot do it.
That tells you right there, like, it was meant to be, I guess, because
But honestly, I think
Yeah.
the Bears are going to come out hungry this upcoming week. Oh yeah, they should have won that game, and they're going to feel it. They're
Yeah.
going to take it out on the.
like I said, they
Vikings.
played
Yeah, they're gonna be
they played
pissed
a
off.
decent game. I mean, it wasn't a high scoring game, but 20-19. That means you guys were putting up points.
Oh yeah.
Swift showed up.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Swift showed up and finally acted like the running back he was 2-3 seasons ago. So that was good when he was with Philly.
Even before that, when he was with Detroit as well, I feel like he
Yeah.
had a better year with Detroit. I feel like
Definitely.
he benefited more with Philly because of Philly's offensive line, and then now Detroit's offensive line is stellar too. Don't forget that. But
Right.
honestly, with this team, he's finally seen what he can do without all the help, the
Yeah.
plethora of help around him. So
There was a Keenan Allen sighting. And I think he's just there getting a check, to be honest with you, because he was injured, but now he's healthy. And
Well, I mean, from Justin Herbert to
Caleb
QB
Williams.
bestie, like it's.
but he's not even getting the ball thrown to him. That's why I'm like, I picked him up in fantasy because I thought he was going to do something. I haven't started him yet, because when you're only getting like 3 targets and 19 yards a game, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do on like 3-4 targets
Yeah,
for
it's
most
really not.
receivers,
I just
especially
want to
guys
say
his
this
age.
again. My head hurts wearing this hat.
Well, don't worry, because don't worry, it's only got to last for an hour. But that brings me into my segment, the one I've been waiting for all day long. Me and Angell made a bet. Angell was so hard set on the Commanders winning, and honestly, regardless of what the score says, it was not close. The Eagles only put up 6. No, hold on, no.
Ooh,
The Eagles
okay.
only put up 6 points in the first half. No touchdowns. No. All right. In the second half, all right, you have literally 26 points that they put, not 26, 20 points that they put up. All right. Now, keep in mind that end of the game touchdown that you guys got, that was a garbage touchdown. We're not counting that.
Listen, the game was actually closer than you thought. Yes, our defense crumbled in the fourth quarter. It gave you guys 2 extra touchdowns. Don't act like you guys just blew us out the second half.
No.
Don't do that.
We did. So here's the thing.
It was a
did.
fourth quarter block.
Philly
It was a fourth
also
quarter.
left 7 points on the board. They missed an extra point, 2 field goals. That's an extra 7 points that we let y'all have.
Oh, you let us have.
No. You guys were +7 on that, and you couldn't cover it. I'm gonna put it in spread terms. But the Eagles had a wonderful game. Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, De'Ami Brown. Can you guess what they all have in common?
Yeah, they had 0 targets.
No. They all
Disgusting.
had targets. So first and foremost, they're all wide receivers on the Washington Commanders. They all had 1 reception for 10 or under yards.
Yep.
Listen, well, Terry McLaurin
Shut
all of a
down.
sudden for the past 2 weeks is not getting targets. Jaden Daniels is hurt. They need to put Mariota in, let Jaden Daniels heal. He's got rib issues, and he's having issues throwing the ball. They're still going to play him because he's like 80%. But as you can see, the only reason we lost that game, and I'm going to say it here now, and let me look into the camera, adjust
say
this
it.
hat. The only reason we lost that game is because Jaden Daniels is hurt. You heard it here first. This is scary. This is RG3 all over again, and it's going to piss me off if they don't let him heal. Let him heal. Hashtag let him heal. You heard it. Let's go.
Honestly, we can make a bet right now for the next game that comes up because we got one more.
You got one more?
Oh,
We
we
got
are going to
one
make a
more.
bet. You think I'm just going to let this slide?
No, I'm already
Okay.
I'm already waiting to hear the excuses for that loss too.
Oh, wow. Here you go.
Honestly, bro, like the Eagles defense looks like a shut down defense. They are the top rated defense. in
I
the
can
past
tell
6
you why
weeks.
we really lost. Like, the whole honest truth why we really lost.
Why is that?
Is it just because he was hurt?
No, I'll tell you why right now.
Because you bet with your heart?
No, I was supposed to go, and I'm telling you guys this, I'm never doing this again. I had my church couples group I was supposed to go into on Thursday. I did not go to watch the game, and the Lord was like, you know what? Oh, you want to watch the game? All right, you guys lost. Thank you, Lord. I learned my lesson. Won't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the Commanders were in that game for a lot of it. It was really that fourth quarter when they got 3 touchdowns unanswered. That was where it really came in. So second half, not quite, but the fourth quarter, you guys crumbled completely.
Listen,
was-
I know
it was
it was
bad,
3,
massive
even though
crumble.
I said 2, but you didn't have to correct me like that, sir.
That's a stat guy. He corrects everybody.
I know. I was just like, let a brother live a little bit. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I mean, hey, Eagles already killed you. I might as well double down.
For real.
Thank you
brother
so
when he's
much.
down.
All right, Caleb, let's continue. What you got next?
Man, we're looking at Baltimore, Pittsburgh this week. That was a dogfight. I mean, I know John last week, he kind of called that as like his, that was his under last week, and it absolutely hit. I mean, this was a dogfight through and through. It's crazy. So I saw the stat the other day. I can't believe this is true. Mike Tomlin, when his team does not score an offensive touchdown, has a 33% winning percentage. Every other coach doesn't have a full, like it's a .047, I believe, was the collective percentage for teams that don't score a touchdown and win games. .047 versus a 1/3. That's insane. Mike Tomlin is an amazing coach. And that right there, I mean, if you're not scoring a touchdown in a game, you should not be winning the game. But somehow this man has done it time and time again.
But
he
also,
continues to do it.
I'm a huge Mike Tomlin fan. I've always been. But I think this year kind of, I don't want to say it. No, I'm saying it. It's kind of saved his job. Because I was like, because he has not been good for the last few years.
Yeah,
honestly.
but I don't think he's ever been in jeopardy.
I think, come on,
he's
now.
had a winning record every year.
No, this nostalgia. So he's had give me in the past. Don't get me wrong. In the past, he's had tremendous success with the Steelers. But the Eagles didn't keep Doug Peterson because they won him the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like they were like, okay, this man did good, but we still have a business to run.
The Eagles don't even like the head coach they have now.
The Eagles fans.
Eagles fans.
Because the head coach now, he claps back at him, and you can't do that with Eagles fans.
He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't
During
care.
the game, he'll clap back at him. He's like literally like, come on. Yeah. What next? Let's go. Bring it in.
Yeah. But
like,
honestly, I mean, regardless, like you said, Mike Tomlin, he's been a little bit not lackluster. I don't know if that's the word, but these last couple of years since Big Ben has retired have been rough. They haven't been winning they've been winning the games. They've been keeping that winning record, but it's been, I mean, it's a ton of one-score games, a ton of really close games that they honestly probably should have lost, that they've been lucked out, whether it's a Chris Boswell field goal or something else coming their way. But this year, like you said, this is a year that not necessarily saved his job, but it's definitely realigned. I think it's fixed his legacy a little bit, because he's been, like I said, since Big Ben is retired, he hasn't been as good of a coach. I mean, he's had Kenny Pickett, which is not exactly a great quarterback to have as your starting quarterback.
Yeah, not at all.
Mitch Trubisky, Kyle Allen.
I don't think he's not been that great of a coach, but this just shows you how important a quarterback is.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple teams, and we'll get to that later, that you could tell have been really good teams, but don't have a quarterback, which makes that team trash. You know what I mean? Because, like, we could say nothing's changed with Pittsburgh except for the quarterback.
I don't want to bring up your fantasy team, but it's kind of like that too.
It is like that right now.
Damn.
Good Lord, I'm getting
What I will
kicked
say,
around
though,
today.
for Lamar, though, is Lamar didn't have a bad game. First of all, the interception that he threw was absolutely, congratulations, Peyton Wilson. My goodness. That was, did you guys see that?
I haven't seen the clip.
So the clip is, like, he threw it to him, and, like, the receiver caught it, but literally he took it out of his hand on the way to the ground, and then that counted as an interception. So, I mean, personally, that's not Lamar's fault, but it's a great play.
Yeah.
Great play by a great athlete.
By a rookie as well.
Think about it. A lot of interceptions aren't the quarterback's fault. They'll throw it to the receiver, and then it'll bounce off the receiver's chest.
Or you'll have Mahomes, and then Mahomes will get every flag known to man called.
Every flag.
Yep.
That's a whole nother conversation.
He's still one of the leading, league interception throwers. He's still up there. I don't know if he's number one anymore, but he's definitely up there still.
What I'll say, though, is the two main contributors for me is going to be third down efficiency or time of possession. And the Steelers had 13 more minutes of time of possession in that entire game. They held the ball. They kept it out of Lamar's hands. They did what they needed to do, and they got the win. Tough division win. And by the way, everyone that picked the under for that game, congratulations, because we absolutely did pick that under.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a huge, huge hit this week. But like I said, Mike Tomlin, phenomenal coach. He's one of the only coaches that we've seen where even if his team's not playing well, he still finds a way to win. I mean, I don't think there's a single coach in the NFL that does that season after season, where it's a lackluster team, a team just not gelling well for whatever reason, and yet time and time again, this guy just wins outright. There's no way to, there's nothing else to it. I mean, he's a phenomenal coach.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go.
All right, Angell, what you got, my friend?
So my next game is Atlanta, Denver. Bo Nix.
Dude, Bo Nix is killing it.
Big Bo, bro. He's
this guy
killing
right
it.
here. Four touchdowns, almost, if not 300 yards, just around 300 yards, if I'm correct.
307.
307, 4 touchdowns. And Bo Nix, we trust. Like, I'm still on that Drizzy. Drizzy, I still got love for you.
No one else is on that train but you, bro.
I know. Hey, I just got to represent my guy. But Bo Nix right now, which is crazy because we were talking about this earlier. I've had him twice in fantasy and dropped him both times. And now I'm in need of a quarterback.
Yeah.
So for no one that knows about our fantasy, he's had Jalen Hurts, and he traded him. Jaden Daniels, which he dropped
for nothing.
He dropped for
for
nothing.
no reason.
So your track record for QBs in fantasy aren't that?
It's terrible.
that bad.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm going with Russ, who's not cooking.
Yeah, I mean he's getting the job done for the actual wins, but he's not getting it done for fantasy.
Not for
No,
fantasy.
not at
But
all.
anyway, back to Bo Nix, man. Bo Nix is just, he's, out of all the rookies that are playing right now, he's at like 20 touchdowns, and the closest one to him, I think, is Jaden Daniels at 14. He's just killing it right
for
now.
touchdowns.
Yeah, for touchdowns thrown. He's just killing it. Bo Nix, like, surprise, Denver is found their quarterback.
So no, on touchdowns thrown, you have Joe Burrow at 27.
I'm talking about just for rookies.
Okay,
Just for
Right.
rookies, not for the league. Just for rookies. So rookie wise, first year in the league, first time you got to think Bo Nix played a lot of college ball.
Yeah, he played 5 full
yeah, I
seasons.
mean he's a little bit older. Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
he's a
played-
little bit older, so he's a little bit more mature, a little bit more, NFL ready, I would say. He played a lot of years of college ball. So
You think there's a lot more people that are going to see his success in the NFL and like, you know what, maybe we should stay that 5th year in college.
Right, maybe.
You'd be
We might
surprised.
see
I don't
that.
know. I don't
you
think
know?
so because the people want to get out.
They
They
want-
want to.
But you got to think now with the NIL, for people who don't know who college ball, with the NIL, you got people, why go to the NFL as a rookie making $100,000 when I can stay in college and make $1 million?
Yeah. I mean,
So that NIL money is like legit now. So it's not about, people might actually start staying a little bit longer in college because they're getting paid like pros.
yeah. And I mean,
so
there are players like I know Shadur Sanders. I think he's the leading NIL player in the country for any college sport. He's making like just under $4 million in NIL a year, which is insane. Granted, now he's gonna be a first round pick in if it's this year or next year, regardless
coming out.
because of
Yeah,
the
he's coming out.
it's gonna be this year. But he's gonna be a first round pick, so his contract's gonna be like $40 million. For him, it makes sense to go to the NFL. But for some of these guys, they're making $1 million, maybe $800,000 on the NIL, and if they're like a 6th, 7th round pick, they're gonna be making half that on a
exactly.
contract.
So you might have a lot of college players staying a lot longer just because they're getting paid. So,
I mean, it could be. You never know. But
Right.
We'll see.
I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the Lions and Jags. Another
I
ass
mean,
whooping.
Belt to ass. There's no other way to put it.
well, and just to say, I did say my bust of the week was Jared Goff, and I apologize, Jared Goff. I disrespected
So I can see how
you.
As
you
you
can
should.
think that because he had a terrible game
Yeah,
last week. But
5
he absolutely
interceptions
made
the
up
week
for that.
before. Yeah, I apologize.
I'm
Jared
sick of
Goff.
everyone being so down. Like as soon as Jared Goff has a bad game, everyone's like, "I told you so." I knew he wasn't a good quarterback. I knew this wasn't going to
Because
pop up.
they when you don't expect a lot out of Jared Goff, and then he gives you 6 touchdowns or something like that, and then the next week he has 4 interceptions.
But here's the thing, though. No quarterback in the history of the game has not had a bad game in a season. I'm like,
Right.
No,
it's bound to
you're right.
happen.
It happens.
I think this season is probably, even though the Chiefs only lost 1, I think this is probably one of, statistically wise, Mahomes' one of worst seasons
Oh,
in
absolutely.
his career. For
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
It's a horrible Mahomes year.
Absolutely. And we're not going to discount that and say, oh, he's lost something or he's not the
The
best
only thing
quarterback.
that's saving him is that, like,
His
he's
defense.
thrown more
That defense is
interceptions
amazing.
than he's thrown touchdowns, but they've won every game except for last week. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason. That's the only thing. Like, if they had been losing all these weeks, then we'd really be on Mahomes. But it don't matter how he play if your team still wins. So it's kind of like, all right, well, they'll get him next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that, though, Sonic and Knuckles, literally,
Bro, they're killing it.
Like, that should be like the way we do it in the NFL. You need 2 elite runners to kind of share the ball a little bit. You don't know which one's going to come out. You don't know which. Now, I will say, though, even though Montgomery gets most of the goal line bulk, Jahmyr Gibbs, like, I don't know how he don't put the ball in this man's hands every single play. Whether you want to split him out as the slot receiver, whether you want to keep him in the backfield, the man, every time he touches the ball, it was like Deshaun Jackson with the Eagles. Yeah, I'm bringing that up again.
Lord,
He just made good plays. It's exciting.
This is
to
not
watch.
Eagle Tuesday. This is not Eagle Tuesday.
It should be though.
No.
Anyway.
But no, like you said, yeah, Sonic and Knuckles, they've been killing it all year. I mean, I think they both have. I mean, their stats are insane going into this year. Week after week, they're just getting 100-yard games, couple touchdowns. I mean, they're killing it week after week.
Absolutely, my friend. And I was like, even though we all knew Mac Jones was in, we knew that they weren't gonna, even if they had Trevor Lawrence in, they weren't going to win this game. I think they might have been maybe 10, 14 points more. I think that's about it. But again, the Lions covered the over by themselves almost. Jesus.
No, they did because their over was 50, and
I
they hit,
thought their over was like 54 or something.
it was 50.5 because that was my pick from last week.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I know we hit that over for sure. But talk about these
Disgusting.
Lions all day.
Disgusting.
Oh, wait, Caleb, what's your last one?
Last one, I'm going to talk about Rams-Patriots. This was a game that, honestly, like you said, Drizzy Drake, we're going to talk about him real quick. He had a decent game. He was 30 of 40 for passing, just under 300 yards, couple of touchdowns, not a bad game. I believe they were ahead going into the fourth quarter, and Matt Stafford did what Matt Stafford does and take that game-winning drive and win the game for him against a team that, honestly, the Patriots, yes, it's one of those teams where their record is not good at all. But they are competitive. They will be very close week after week, and they are. I think they're one of the few teams that almost every loss is a 1-possession game.
Yeah, they're losing, but they're not losing by a lot. It's like almost. It's close. They're almost there. They are almost there. I feel like next season will be their season because Drizzy will have a year under his belt. He'll understand the actual NFL game. The defense in New England is solid. They've got some good offensive players. They probably need a receiver or two.
They do.
But they're almost there.
I just don't.
What's the look on your face, Muffins?
Because I can't get on the Drake train. I don't see enough. I don't see it.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
But that's what everybody said about Jalen Hurts. Oh, why is he? How is he a starter?
I will say now, as an Eagles fan, I am not a Cowboys fan. I live in reality, and what I will say is I will never put Jalen Hurts in the top 5.
Top 5 what?
Top 5 quarterbacks.
Well, I wouldn't put him in the top 5 either.
Yeah,
so
no,
here's
definitely.
my thing on that. I believe he is profiting from an amazing system. He's a very strong runner. But I believe, honestly,
he's got good arm talent.
If you put him like on the Panthers, if you put them on the Patriots, Jalen Hurts is not going to look good.
No, Jalen Hurts is a solid quarterback.
I don't think so.
He's
a solid
but
leader and he's a solid runner, but he is not a solid thrower.
He could throw the ball.
No, he cannot.
He's kind of
no. He has if I don't want to bring up Madden stats on this one, but he has terrible throw power. His throw power,
88.
his throw power.
Off.
His throw power is probably closer to almost like.
This sounds
82.
like the whole "is he better than Dak Prescott" conversation.
No. So I
mean, that is a conversation. But we're gonna talk. We're not getting into that right now.
we're not getting that. We can do that.
But honestly, he's kind of looking like a little bit like an early on Lamar, where he's good with his legs. He's a good leader, but he's not a phenomenal passer.
Jalen?
He can't sling the football.
He's not a bad passer.
He can't get it down. Did you not watch the Super Bowl? And that last throw that he made, I think it went like 35 yards down, and he huffed it and puffed it, and threw it, and nobody touched him, and it went 35 yards.
And I'll say this: like, I'm not saying he's a bad passer. I don't think he's a great passer, and I think that's where the distinction is. He's a solid passer. He's not great, and that's why
he can get it done with the
Lamar.
right pieces around him. And I believe that this is one of those years, just like when he. Now, what I will say is, when he was in the Super Bowl, he outperformed Mahomes, 1,000%. It was just the Chiefs defense. Like it's been all along. It's the Chiefs defense that's really boasting at Mahomes. And everyone wants to be like, oh, Mahomes, it's all Mahomes. No, a lot of it is. Most of it is.
It's like 70% Mahomes.
Yes.
Anyway, back to Drizzy. Don't worry, we had a whole conversation. This is not Philly Tuesday.
It's not Philly
We're
Tuesday.
kind of making it Philly Tuesday.
I know, it's disgusting.
I don't know what the hell is going on right. We're in like the Twilight Zone or something.
disgusting.
But no, Drake May, he's had a phenomenal year since he's took over the starting job for Jacoby Brissett. I don't know why they waited so long to give this man the reins, but honestly, he's thrown. Time and time again, he's thrown multiple touchdowns almost every week. He's playing pretty solid with a relatively lackluster receiving core. I mean, he's got a few guys that aren't bad. I mean, Jalen Polk, Kendrick Bourne. Pop Douglas. These guys are not bad receivers, but he doesn't have a number 1 receiver. These are number 2 and number 3 receivers. There's a reason why these guys, like Kendrick Bourne, he was a guy on the Niners a few years ago, and he was really solid for us as our number 2 or our number 3. But when he became our number 1 receiver, when either Debo or someone else was hurt, it just didn't perform very well.
Yeah.
So Drake May, he's playing well with some relatively lackluster talent. Honestly, his best receiver is Hunter Henry. Let's be 100% honest.
And that's not going to win you the games.
No.
It could.
You're not with your tight end.
I just said you're almost there.
It depends.
Almost there.
He's close. He needs a number 1 receiver. So
Almost.
he like
definitely
them.
needs a number 1 receiver.
He needs a number 1 receiver. So I'd like them this year to draft somebody to give him that extra boost this year. And I think that's what they need to do is invest in that wide receiver
They're a little
position.
bit like the Indianapolis Colts with the quarterback situation. I was like, you draft the quarterback, the starter's not doing well. You want to take him out, but you're like, show me this is our future. And I'm only bringing up the Colts because someone told me that I don't bring up the Colts a lot on the show. And I don't mean to skip over them, but they're very skip overable. Like they're just not doing anything of interest.
They've been kind of forgettable this year because they kind of keep going back and forth between Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco. So it's like what is the decision here? But it seems like they're going with Anthony Richardson for the rest of the year. So we'll see him get some more time
they
under
need
his
to throw
belt.
back in Flacco.
No. I think that
Anthony Richardson balled out. He balled.
Yeah, he did. He did
balled
ball
out.
out. He did ball out. All right, so let's move on to next week. You guys ready to move on to next week?
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna take one more and then we'll move on to next.
All
week,
right,
my
go
friend.
ahead.
Let's do it.
Get
Let's
one
do
more.
So we cannot, and I mean we absolutely cannot skip over Chargers Bengals.
That was a
That
really good game.
was an absolutely amazing game. Not for Joe Burrow, because I feel for the guy. The man is lighting the league on fire passing wise, and his team is just letting him down.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
McPherson, how many? What was it? 2 field goals that he ended up missing?
2 field goals, or actually, no, I think he missed 3. I think he was 3
Was
for
3?
I think it was 3 for 6. I believe he was 3 for 6.
Oh my goodness,
Which is
I
crazy.
thought it was only 2.
He had 6 opportunities.
I believe so. I'll double check, but I believe
But with
yeah.
6
you do
opportunities,
that.
that doesn't tell me that
You
their
check on that, 'cause I
offense
thought it
is
was
lighting
2.
anything on fire.
Okay, no, he was 2 for 4. I'm sorry. I
Why is the
think he missed
kicker
an extra
getting
point.
6
Then. That might have been it.
opportunities?
So my thing on that is they're coming so close every single game, it seems, and they're just getting let down by a field goal, a defensive play, whatnot.
You know the real reason
What?
is because they let Joe Mixon go.
That's
Think
part
about
of it.
it.
That's part of it. I think that's part of it.
Think about it. They still have the same receivers, same offensive line,
So no,
same quarterback. The only real difference is Joe Mixon isn't there anymore.
They also lost a lot on defense.
no,
JW
that's what I'm saying.
Awuzie,
Their defense is letting them down. Now Trey Hendrickson is having an amazing, I
he's a
believe,
phenomenal year.
he should be in the conversation for defensive rookie of the, or not defensive rookie of the year, defensive player of the year.
I think he might be just period.
Absolutely, just as period. But I mean, their defense is the one letting them down for sure. Like
Yeah.
they're getting scored on left and right. Like your offense can only put up so many points.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even if the Lions were putting up that many points, and they had a terrible defense. There's no way. It's not gonna. It looks bad. And we'll get some more Joe Burrow stats later on in the show. Don't you worry, my friend.
But yeah, I mean, they lost a lot of guys on defense. They lost Chidobe Awuzie. They signed Geno Stone, who was supposed to be like their ball hawk safety, and he hasn't really looked great this year. He's a guy they poached from the Ravens. And what is he really? I haven't heard his name at all this year. At all. So what's going on in Cincinnati? That defense is just not playing well.
It's not.
Trey Hendrickson is pissed off at Zach Taylor for just
as he should be.
As he should be, because Zach Taylor's being kind of conservative. He's not pushing the ball down. Like he's just not doing enough. Like I think part of it is, yeah, maybe the defense isn't balling out as much as they should be, but Zach Taylor has not provided the opportunity for this defense to pop off.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I just want to get that out of the way because we're not giving Joe Burrow the props that he deserves. But we'll go ahead and move on to next week, my friend. What you got, Caleb?
Yeah, man. Next week, we got a lot of good games this week. Niners-Packers is a very, very important one. I understand the Niners guy talking about the Niners. But here's the thing. If the Niners don't beat the Packers, we're out of the playoffs. Just point blank, period. Because we have this week against the Packers, next week against Buffalo. We just lost to Seattle. I mean, we cannot afford to lose this game. We effectively have to win out, or at least maybe lose one game.
What's you guys' record?
We're 5-5 or 5-6. I'm sorry,
5-6.
5-6, which 5-5. Which is 500 is not a bad record,
Especially for the division you're in.
right?
Like, you guys can still take that division.
We can, but we need to continuously win games, and it starts this week at Lambeau Field, which is a rough game, and it's a rough place to play in.
But you know what? Good teams find a way to win in bad situations, and I feel like this is a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like they can absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out on a limb and pick them, but
Right.
I feel
No
like they can get it
faith?
done. I would no. So me personally,
It's gonna be
if they
close.
won, I wouldn't classify it as an upset, and
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked if it happened.
Yeah, because honestly, the Packers over the last few weeks, they've kind of looked a little exposable. They haven't been, beating the brakes off of teams. They've been a lot of really close games. They've had to come from behind a few times. They almost lost to Chicago this week, and it came to a blocked field goal.
Yep.
Remember, Love was injured.
For the first couple weeks,
Yeah, he's still trying to get his legs underneath him. So he's playing solid ball. So, I mean, they're not, like you said, they're not beating the brakes off anybody, but
Yet
they're finding ways.
they're
finding
honestly,
ways.
They
They're
have
finding
they
ways.
have all the potential to do it. So
Yeah.
they're
Not Detroiting people.
No,
whatsoever.
nobody can
Nobody's
Detroit
Detroiting
anyone.
But you know the
No
real
one's
reason.
Detroiting.
Have you been seeing Josh Jacobs play?
He's been
For
he's
Green
been-
Bay?
He was
He's
calling
balling.
out. What was it? He was calling out one of their defensive backs on that big run he had. He was like, "Yeah, come tackle me, bro." I don't
He's
think
balling.
I've ever seen a player in the middle of a play be like, "Yeah, come get me." Come
Josh
get me."
Jacobs is balling.
He's,
I don't know,
he's
was that
absolutely
flagged or
electric.
not?
No, because it was just a slight little just a little push. It wasn't enough.
For
It
plays
was-
like that, though, I feel like that almost should get flagged for unsportsmanlike, just because I'm like, it's in the middle of a play. You know what I mean?
right.
That's like taunting the defender. But
I do get that, yeah. But this was also about like half a second before he got tackled. So the guy was literally like right around the corner from him, and just as soon as he just kind of gave him that little come over here, he got absolutely lit up into out of bounds. So, but like I said, this is a huge week for the 49ers. We need to win this game if we want to make the playoffs, and it's coming down to it. Especially if George Kittle's not playing, especially if Nick Bosa's not playing now that he's kind of messed up his oblique again. So it's like this is a very, very important game.
yeah.
Not just
For
for
what
us,
I will
but the
say
entire
though,
NFC.
for sports books out there, if you have an 8-leg parlay and let's say it all comes down to Kittle, and he doesn't play. You should not void the ticket. You should break me off
you
something
should
for
be
that.
talking about this at the end of the
That's a later.
end of
That's
the
later.
show.
No, I'll bring it up more.
That's at the
but-
end of the
later.
show, sir.
because it's a very limited topic, so I didn't want to bring it up at
That's
the end of the
hilarious.
show. But to hit an 8-leg parlay,
Trash.
and then because
Trash.
Kittle didn't play, oh no, here's your $10 back. Like, no, absolutely not. Like,
Trash.
And go what you
Absolutely
got.
not.
And go what
All
you
right,
got.
man. So this is one of my favorite weeks of the whole season.
Mm.
Washington, Dallas. Let's go.
Hey,
mm,
Washington, Dallas. We're about to beat the brakes off of Dallas. Why? Two reasons. I'm going to tell you why. See that face? We've had a 2-game slide. 2-game slide. We went
Okay.
from 7-2 to now we're 7-4.
Mm-hmm.
This is the week Jaden Daniels is going to get healthy. He's going to get healthy. Dallas is in shambles right now,
It's
And-
embarrassing.
and we're hitting them all at the right time. B-Rob is back. He's healthy. He's ready to run. He's actually my boom of the week, but we'll get to that later. Oh, we're about to beat the brakes off of Dallas.
So
honestly, as you should. If you don't, that what does that say about the Commanders?
First
Right.
off,
Here's the thing.
don't be trying to switch that around where you're low-key dissing the Commanders as you try to give us props at the same time.
That's-
You ain't slick.
No,
I'll say this.
I'm
I'll say
good at
this.
that.
You absolutely should beat the brakes off the Commanders, or excuse me, off the Cowboys. However, and I'll
no
say
however.
that there is. They just played Houston, and that game was significantly closer than it should have been. I was watching that whole game. It was significantly closer than it should have been with Cooper Rush at quarterback, and it's the same guy who's going to be starting this week. It took a big boy Derek Barnett touchdown to kind of seal the game. So I don't know. It's going to be a close one. I think you guys absolutely can and should beat the brakes off the Cowboys.
We're going to beat them.
'Cause that defense
we're
is
gonna beat
awful.
the brakes off of them.
But here's the thing: Houston barely escaped them in their home turf.
Yeah, but
So
you
it's
got to
like,
think Houston versus Dallas. I mean, they're just in the same state. This is a division game, and with the division games, they're played that much harder. The only thing is, Dallas doesn't have the players and the personnel right now to step up to that division level play.
They don't have the quarterback. They don't have the offensive line. They don't have. Well, actually, they have running back. I'll give them running back and receiver. They don't have a good defense. They don't have a good special team. No, it's Kevontae Turpin. Besides Kevontae Turpin,
outside of
they don't
Kevontae
have a
Turpin,
good
yeah.
coaching staff. They don't have a good culture. They don't have a good leadership
Exactly.
mentality.
Exactly.
They don't have a
It's
great
like
owner. It's a lot of
80% of
problems.
this team
Shambles.
is terrible. It's just
Shambles.
awful. The
Yeah.
only thing they really have going for them is like Rico Dowdle and CeeDee Lamb. And that's pretty much it right now, if I'm going to be honest. Because Trayvon Diggs is not looking that good this year.
CD ain't looking that great either.
He's been solid.
CD just balled out. I think he had almost 100 yards in that game. He didn't get a ton, but I think he almost had 100 yards in that
Listen,
game.
the only thing good about Dallas, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, is they have a nice stadium. That's
Really?
it.
Not during the day.
Not during the day.
Not
so
during
you
the
have
day.
this
Oh,
multi-billion-dollar
Yeah, I see
stadium.
pieces from the
and-
roof falling down.
Yeah, pieces from the roof are falling down. The sun literally prevented CeeDee Lamb touchdown. That's not even that's not a question. It prevented him from getting a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen,
that's insane.
Even your stadium's against you winning. That's how you know. Yeah.
That's embarrassing, bro. Even the
That is part of the
stadium
culture.
I
hates
love
you.
it.
The
I'm just
stadium
saying.
hates you. That's sad.
I love it.
That's awful. But you know, that it is what it is.
It is what it is. Let's go, Washington. All right, what you got, Muff?
What you
no,
got, Muff?
we'll be teammates on that one. I don't like Dallas at all.
Oh yeah,
No?
fuck Dallas.
But I'm gonna
Anyway.
go ahead and take the Eagles Rams coming up this week. It's gonna be a big one on Sunday Night Football.
Yep.
Eagles are coming off of a 6-game winning streak. The Rams though, the Rams are looking pretty.
They're looking
smoking.
good.
They got Puka back to 100%, cut back to 100%.
John, you like the Rams, don't you?
Absolutely.
John's a Rams fan this week. I don't
Well,
know
you
what's
know,
going on there.
guys, I always talk about them every week, but you know, I always talk about everyone that I love so much, and they're just so much better than my 49. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm
We're
not
gonna
go there.
relax
Ooh.
on that. We will
Dang,
relax.
John, I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
No, I'm not gonna do that for him. But
can't.
they so I think this is a little bit of a game where the Eagles will be feeling themselves, and they have at least one or two of these a year.
Trap game.
Trap game where they're feeling themselves, they're just full of it. Like, we got this, we're the best team. You know, they're the top rated defense right now, not in sacks, but in pass protection. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders, and I just feel like Matthew Stafford's gonna come in and just be like, you know what,
Just torch him.
I feel like it'll be like a bigger shootout that I'm expecting, but
Definitely.
I expect the Rams to actually probably take this one.
It's going to be very
Really?
close. The
Wow.
Rams, like they're killing it recently as well. And like you said, this is a trap game where it's teams that they go into a team where that maybe they're 500, maybe they're a little below 500, and we've seen it time after time, week after week, year after year, where a team that is potentially a Super Bowl contender, they go into one of these teams that's a little bit underwhelming, and they don't get curb stomped, but they lose in embarrassing fashion. So
I honestly don't think Philly's going to lose. And the only reason I'm surprised. This turned into.
I'm sorry. Did those words
this just turned into a Philly
I want to make sure
Tuesday.
I heard that
hate
right.
it so much.
I want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, I don't think they're
crazy.
going to lose. But let me tell you the reason why. Saquon Barkley.
I mean, he's jumping backwards over people.
I'm not going to lie, man.
I don't even know what the fuck they think anymore.
Philly picked up Saquon. That's like the sexiest pick of the year.
Even more so than Derrick Henry?
Even more so than Derrick Henry, I feel like.
I think
because
so. Yeah.
Saquon has just totally been everything that Philly wanted and more.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's literally been everything they wanted and more. So
and
Derrick Henry he's been Derrick Henry.
He's doing Derrick Henry things. He's leading the league in rushing yards. He's one of the leaders in touchdowns.
Saquon, like, man,
Saquon's
I can't
electric.
believe it. So I just feel like he's in beast mode right now where he's not letting Philly lose for anything. Like, you need a 60-yarder? Got you. You need me to run to the flat and catch a ball and run and get a touchdown? Got you. The only thing, and I'm going to let you bring it up later, is I'm not even going to bring it up now. I'm going to let you bring it up later. I know how you feel about that. So
yeah.
We'll get into that later. But, yeah, I feel like Philly can take the game. And I really want the Rams to win because I need Philly to lose. But if it came down to me having to put a parlay ticket in, I would pick Philly over the Rams.
But also what I would say for the Rams, too, is they're in close contention to stay in their division.
Absolutely.
So I feel like this is a must-win for them. So I feel they're going to play their hearts out. Not that they don't every game.
Right.
First of all, the tempo that Los Angeles plays with, like, you have Puka and Cooper running like 10, 15 yards before the play even snaps. Then you got them running back, and then they're going to do it again. Like, I don't know what kind of conditioning program they have out there with the Rams, but Jesus.
I think they're in cahoots with the Energizer Bunny. I think something's going on over there, man, because they just keep going.
They keep running, and honestly, they're not out for very many plays per game either. So
no, really not. Yeah, they're not getting too much rest,
get on that
which is
plan.
crazy. Yeah. But one game I want to talk about this week as well. It's another huge divisional game, Arizona-Seattle. I mean, this, again, we've been talking about this division, pretty much all day. This is a massive, massive game for the Cardinals and Seattle both. I mean,
must wins.
It's a must win because here's the thing. Seattle, they just came off a win against my 49ers, which pissed me off. But we're not even going to talk about that. And they need to protect their home field this week against Arizona, who has been playing honestly really well this year. They're 6-4. They're kind of balling out this year. Kyler Murray's been playing well. Marvin Harrison's starting to click a little bit over these last handful of weeks. James Conner, I mean, he does the same thing every year where he just kind of beast modes over people.
He's
so
secretly
it's like he's a top 10, maybe not top 10, but he's a top tier.
I would say a top 10 running back. Like he's definitely
solid.
A top 10 running back. Know what it is with him? He just doesn't have the yards. But when you need a touchdown,
you give it to him.
He can truck somebody with the best of them. Like Connor's a baller.
Connor's a baller.
A solid
Connor
baller.
is severely underrated on that team, and
way underrated.
They need him. They need that man more than everybody.
Because you can tell every time he's injured, they're getting blown out.
Yep.
Every time.
Absolutely.
Like Washington went into Arizona, Connor was injured, blew them out. There's a couple other teams that have been to Arizona, Connor was not there, blew them out. Every time he's not there, they get blown out.
Well, every time they know they know that the Cardinals are not going to have any kind of running game except for Kyler Murray, so they always keep a spy in the middle to keep a hold on him, and it's bad every single time.
And part of that comes down to the depth as well. I mean, they have, I don't remember who one of their running backs is, but they also have Trey Benson, who they drafted this year. He's a rookie, so he's not getting a ton of touches, especially with James Conner as the main guy, because they kind of run similarly. So it's like
what is the other one? DeMarcado?
I can't remember what his name is right now. I know the one time I can't remember a player's name.
Done, but yeah.
But like they don't have any stellar running backs outside of James Conner. Like they have a guy who could be good in a year or two with Trey Benson, but not right now. So it's a thing where if James Conner's not playing, it's a tough one. But this week, I think James Conner he's totally fine. He's good to go. So this is going to be a very, very fun game. And this could be one of those games where if we looked at it last week with Pittsburgh-Baltimore, it could be either a 60-point game in total or it could be a 35-point game. Like it's going to be a very, very, very tough one. So it's
very fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Matchups are always so fun to watch because everyone plays with so much heart.
Oh yeah,
as long as Geno,
I love division games.
Yeah, as long as Geno throws like 7 interceptions like he does every single week, I'm totally fine with it. He keeps throwing interceptions every week.
I bet you are.
Except
every week. I think he still threw one, but it's okay. We don't got to talk about. Actually, no, he did throw one. Anyway.
All right, moving on.
What do you got now? What do you got?
Go on, bro.
So I'm going with Denver, Las Vegas. Denver, Las Vegas rivalry game. Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup. Minshew actually balled out this past week. Even though the Raiders suck and they're losing game after game after game, this week I can actually say it wasn't because of Minshew. Minshew threw a couple touchdowns. He had a lot of yards. Didn't throw an interception. It's their defense is playing like straight trash. Now, coming into this week coming, I mean, they're going against Bo Nix.
Who's been balling.
Like, I don't know. He might,
fire
at the
right
end of the
now.
year, he might end up taking over Rookie of the Year out of Jaden Daniels.
Let's not get crazy.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you why.
It's not even crazy to say it now.
It's crazy because I'm going to tell you why later when we talk about our MVPs.
All right.
Or why. But going back to Denver, Las Vegas, I feel like Las Vegas does not have a shot. They are going to get smashed.
Yeah, that whole organization right now as a whole is terrible.
They are going to get smashed.
I will say. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they just had Jack Jones, who was injured this last week, so it does come down to that a little bit. But like I said, I mean, Minshew, he's been playing well this last week.
Well.
He didn't do too bad. But yeah, that defense needs to step up a little bit, especially when you have a guy on injury like Jack Jones, who's one of your star corners. Him and Nate Hobbs, those are your guys. You need to keep them going. If one of them's out, that's rough. I mean, we've seen it with Javarius Ward. He's been dealing with his own stuff, so he hasn't been playing the last couple weeks, and it's definitely shown. So it's we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
All right, but we're going to move on, you guys. We're going to move on to, usually we do around the league, but I would love to. I wanted to get into it last week instead, but I feel like, especially with the amazing games that we saw this week, we got to get into our MVP so far in the season.
MVP?
Absolutely, you guys. Caleb, who you got?
I'm taking Lamar Jackson as my MVP pick this year. I mean, he's balling out. He is top 2 in yards and touchdowns passing. He's phenomenal. He's got just under 600 rushing yards. He's only got 3 interceptions, which is towards the top end of the league this year. So he's balling out this year. He's definitely developed as a passer. He's doing it year after year after year. Last year, he took a big leap, and I think this year he has 2. He's got just under 3,000 passing yards. That's insane going into week 12. I mean, that's huge, especially for a guy who, especially early on in his career, he was touted as a guy who should have been playing running back, No, these last 2 years, he's been balling out. He's proven himself year after year. And this year, I'm picking him as my MVP.
And he's staying healthy, too.
He's staying healthy, which
that's the key to
a guy
all.
with his style, that's not something that normally happens, like Jaden Daniels. But
took a shot.
I mean, I'm not wrong. But like I said, Lamar, he's been balling out this year.
How come you gonna let him get away, but you don't let me get away with that?
Because you know what?
I'm a
sad 49ers fan this week. All right, let me live.
You're
all
in
right?
the division, so
we lost to a broken down Seattle team. I don't even want to
Yeah, you guys suck too. Muffin, I want you to go because I want to be last in this segment.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, I want you to go.
Let's get Muffins
Let's hear
going.
what you got.
Let's get Muffins going.
Okay. So we have all this talk about Lamar, Derrick Henry. I want to give an honorary shout out to Justin Herbert. I mean, the man only has 1 interception on the year. He's leading the Chargers to an amazing season.
So is he
honestly,
your MVP?
No, he is not. But I do want to throw him out there because I feel like nobody out there right now is giving him any credit.
At all.
He's playing really well.
He's playing extremely well, and honestly, they still have a chance to overtake the Chiefs for that division. So
They could if
They could.
Kansas City starts crumbling. I mean, they're only two games behind, I think, because they're 7-3. So
yeah, absolutely. But what I'm going to take, and I'm extremely excited about this one because he is leading the league in passing yards, leading the league in passing touchdowns. That is Joey Burrow. Now, what I will say is so to me, what comes to my mind for MVP talk is most valuable to your team.
Mm-hmm. And
now the reason I don't put Derrick Henry on that list is the last year Baltimore Ravens didn't have Derrick Henry and they were still one of the Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't feel like he would be, not that he's not having a stellar season, but
Right.
I feel like he doesn't add that key component, to where if we are missing this, our season's done. Now
I'm so glad you said that.
Now if Lamar happened to go down, their chances of winning
Who's
the
their
Super Bowl.
backup quarterback?
Oh God, I don't even because it's not Tyler
It's
Huntley.
not Tyler Huntley because he got
signed to
traded.
Miami. No, he signed to Miami. Or he signed to Cleveland, got cut by Cleveland, then signed to Miami's practice squad, got elevated, and now he's hurt.
Yeah, please look that up for me, my friend. Please look that up for me. But if Lamar went down, now I still think the Baltimore Ravens make the playoffs. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but they'll still make the playoffs. But if Joe Burrow goes down, the Cincinnati Bengals, or as a whole, as an organization, will crumble into rubble. Now, Joe Burrow has been absolutely lighting the league on fire.
Yeah,
Undeniably. No, you could stare at me.
No, I'm
he's
listening.
a phenomenal
I'm
quarterback.
giving you
this year.
the eye contact that you deserve, sir.
All right. Just letting you know. But leading the league in first downs as well. All right. So he's leading the league in so many different categories. And to me, it's not even close. But the record, unfortunately, shows that, they're not getting the job done. And I feel like that's more on the team not helping him out because he's doing everything and more that he needs to do.
Right. He's throwing 400 yards almost every game. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but think about this. They'll never give an MVP to a losing team.
That I think they have. I think they have. Not recently.
are
No,
we not
you may get an MVP trophy, like player of the championship game or something like that, but they'll never give a league MVP to a team.
Yeah,
and
because
your
when
team's
Lamar
losing.
won MVP, what was it, a few years back?
2019. They were like 14-2 that year, I think.
Yeah. They made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs, but I don't think they made a deep run into the playoffs.
They beat the Titans in the first round that year and then lost in the second round
Well,
to Kansas City.
but you got to think though, league MVP is for the season. It's not for
Right.
I mean,
postseason
here's the
doesn't
thing,
really.
though. I think the people that make up their minds on that, because you obviously don't know who the MVP is, like almost right before the Super Bowl.
Right.
So I think they do kind of take into account the playoffs a little bit, even though they say that.
Right.
But I do think they take account the playoffs.
And I will say the backup quarterback for the Ravens is NFL journeyman Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson.
And,
I think we had him for a little bit.
You
what
did.
team hasn't had him at the
You had him for a little bit. We had him twice, and the last time he played for us, he got hurt 5 seconds after after he got put in after Brock Purdy got hurt against the Eagles in that NFC Championship game, which we definitely could have won. We could have.
All
If
right.
Brock Purdy, but we're not going to get into that.
We don't want to hear that.
We won't
don't
get
wanna
into
hear-
that.
Now,
Why
the
did you want me to
real
go first?
MVP of the league
Oh dear God.
is JD. Jaden Daniels, rookie sensation. Because you made my point for me, Muffins.
What's that?
What's an MVP? Like somebody who changes your organization. Somebody that if they're not there, your team crumbles. How good has Washington been in these past couple of seasons? Listen, they're my longest relationship. I love them to death, but they've been trash. All of a sudden, we get Jaden Daniels, a rookie sensation, who actually wasn't expected to be as good as he has been. And we're 7-4 because he got hurt the past 2 weeks, so that's why we lost the past 2 games.
I'm gonna let you finish.
We're 7-4. He's lit up this league this season. What are we in, week 10?
This will be week 12.
So
12, okay.
week 11, how many weeks has he been rookie of the week?
I think 6.
Rookie of the week.
He's
Or
a
actually,
rookie.
no, I
So
think it's 8.
player
Actually, no, I
of
think
the
it's
week.
8.
he's a rookie.
I think he's got 8.
We're not talking about now.
I
If you want
know.
to say rookie of the year,
No,
I'll
that's
handshake you and
already
give it
in
to
the
you.
bag. But league MVP, most important person to your organization, definitely has been Jaden Daniels.
Now here's the part I will say about that.
No, let me finish. Because you can say Joe Burrow, yeah, he's doing good.
Yep.
But he's got receivers all over the place. He's doing his thing. You brought up who'd you bring up?
Lamar.
Lamar. Come on, is that even a question? Like, really? No, I'd give you that, Lamar, but JD, he's definitely in the conversation.
Now, I have one counterpoint
Yes.
to Jaden Daniels
Before
MVP.
I get to mine, go
I
ahead.
have one. Marcus Mariota. He came in when Jaden Daniels got hurt and
lit it
beat the
up.
brakes off the Panthers. I understand it's the Panthers. I get that. But we talked about it. If Lamar goes down, Josh Johnson is not winning you that football game.
Absolutely.
If Joe Burrow goes down, Jake Browning might. He did when Joe Burrow was hurt a couple years ago. He might. If Jaden Daniels goes down, Mariota can and will win you football games.
If
Thank
Mariota
you.
was that great, he'd be the starter. He would have been the
I
starter.
didn't say he's great.
He's not. He's not good enough to be the starter, but he's good enough because he has pieces around him to still win you games, to still win the amount of
So
games.
let me ask you this:
Go ahead.
if Mariota had been the starter from week 1, would we be 7-4?
I think you'd be 6-5, maybe.
Stop it!
I think you might have a game difference.
Stop it!
No, I think
Stop.
that's where I'm
really
at.
one game?
One
I
game
think
difference.
so.
Okay, go on to what
I don't think it's
whatever
crazy.
you were going to say.
No, so here's also how I look at it as well. If you take Jaden Daniels and put him on the Panthers, you put him on the Patriots, that team's not winning. If you put Joe Burrow, when Joe Burrow came, again, obviously, Jamar Chase is there, T. Higgins is there. I'll give you that, okay? But here's the thing. I don't just base my opinion on how much they mean to the team. That's going to be one of the main, probably the main contributing factor, but also their stats on the season. And the stats on the season, there's a 700-yard difference in passing, which is why I didn't put Justin Herbert at the top of the list because he's only 21 or 2,200 yards.
Yeah, but you got to think Joe Burrow dunking dives. He's not throwing down the field like
Are
that.
you for real? He doesn't need
He
to.
dunking. But that's my point.
He don't need
got
to.
receivers that he can
And
throw.
he can.
He can throw. I didn't say he couldn't.
And he
I said
does.
he's not though. He got receivers that he can throw a 5-yard route to that can run 75 yards.
Okay, but he also
We don't
has
have
ones that can
that.
burn you down the field too.
We
He
don't
does it all
have
the time.
that. We don't have that. So all the
Terry McLaurin?
I was going to say Terry.
No, hold on.
Even Noah Brown.
Terry McLaurin runs great routes. He doesn't have top flight speed. He runs great routes.
I don't know. I
Trust me.
saw Cooper Kupp, who has no speed.
How does this conversation go to Cooper Kupp?
Because he just did it this past week. He literally
How does
took it
this
to the house
conversation
for a
go to
70-yard touchdown.
Every time.
Every
But this
time.
is what I'm saying. No, he did. But what I'm saying, Terry McLaurin, he doesn't have top flight speed. He just runs really good routes where he can get past you because of the route running. He's one of the top best in route running. He's not. You're not going to line him up and be like, all right, beat me down the field. That's not going to happen. But JD, definitely league MVP.
Caleb is itching over there. What you got?
So I'm going to say this. This is going back a couple years ago, back when Ryan Fitzpatrick was still on the team for that minute and a half he was on the team before he got hurt. In that game, in that week 2 game against the Chargers where Fitzmagic got hurt, what did Terry McLaurin do? He ran like 70 yards down the field and had probably one of the greatest catches I've ever seen against Derwin James, I believe, actually, was the DB there.
Yep.
That was an insane catch. So yeah, you know what? I understand in some cases, Terry McLaurin may not be a top end speed guy, but he has shown time and time again he can do it and he will do it, just like that game.
Route running. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway,
It was a sideline catch.
back to Jay.
How many times do you want to lose this season in betting on the Commanders?
Bro.
It's going to be every fucking
What's
week,
the
bro.
bet?
You know
What's
gonna,
the bet?
Because I'm not gonna bet on. What are we betting on? If Jaden Daniels wins MVP, because that's not gonna happen.
They're not going to give it to him. He'll win Rookie of the Year.
You get
but
the
they're not gonna
Washington
give it to him.
W on your arm.
They're not going to give it to
Yeah,
him.
I'm not gonna get a tattoo.
They're not going
That's
to give it to
wild.
him.
But let's go ahead and move on to our picks for our locks for the next week, you guys. What you got, Caleb?
I'm taking the Lions this week. I mean, they win week in, week out. They're the best team in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says. It's not the Chiefs. It's not Baltimore. It's not Buffalo. It is Detroit, which is probably the craziest thing I think most of us have ever heard, because up until last year, that would never have been a statement, ever. Even people who live in Detroit and bleed blue and silver would never tell you that they're the best team in the NFL, because they were atrocious for 30 years. This year and last year, they have been phenomenal. They're beating the brakes off of everyone. Dan Campbell has completely changed that organization.
Biting the kneecaps.
Biting them on the kneecaps on the way up. I mean, you can't argue. Detroit is the best team in the NFL right now, and they're going to continue to do it this week.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can agree with that. Do you think Matthew Stafford has a little bit of like, where was this at when I was in Detroit, you guys? Like, come on.
Honestly, maybe.
No, he won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl, but I think if he was in Detroit right now,
Yeah, but Detroit's not going to win the Super Bowl.
If here's the thing,
they have. I would say I would put them at the top spot to win the Super Bowl.
Nah,
this year.
they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
they're definitely top 3.
Not at all.
Definitely top 3. It's because
Not top 2.
Well, because you can argue between them, Baltimore, and Buffalo. Any of those 3 teams are
Baltimore has shown me
So
that they
Detroit's
going to
get the first round bye, we're thinking, correct?
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
First round bye.
They're
I
the
love
number
the
1
Eagles,
seed.
but I also know
And
the reality.
you heard it here first. Whoever they play in the second round is going to beat Detroit. Detroit is not going to. Just remember this conversation.
No, we'll
it's
remember
on
it.
tape.
We'll write it down.
Remember what I
We'll
said.
clip it.
Detroit, second round lost. Second round lost.
You think they're going to be one and done? That's crazy.
One and done in the playoffs.
But another game I'm picking this week, I'm picking the Broncos against the Raiders. The Raiders are god awful. Bo Nix has 11 touchdowns passing in the last 4 weeks. He is one of the league leaders in that. Against rookie quarterbacks with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams does not have a passing touchdown in the last 4 weeks. Jaden Daniels has 4. Bo Nix has 11.
It's a touchdown a week. That sounds good.
You want to know a bet I'm willing to place on?
What?
For Bo Nix over Jaden Daniels to win Rookie of the Year?
Ooh, what you want to put on that? I'll have you out here in a full Washington gear because I have it all.
Well, all right.
Socks,
I got
hat,
you. I will take it.
Draws.
I will take it.
You have to go to the bathroom and change your whole attire.
And same thing happens. If Bo Nix wins Rookie of the Year over Jaden Daniels, you got to dress up in full Philly, and Muffins can bring it out.
Yeah. You know what?
I got a Super Bowl ring and everything, bro.
Listen,
We'll do it. We'll do that. We'll do that.
We'll do that.
And then my last fire pick, or my last pick for this week, I'm taking the Chiefs over the Panthers. I mean, it's an easy pick. I'm sorry, it's an easy pick.
The top dog want to stay on the top. Like, come on, man.
Absolutely. Come on. What do you want me to do?
That's a trap game, though. It's a trap game.
I don't
though,
think
I'm telling
so.
You.
I said the Panthers. I've been kind of hyping them up a little bit these last couple weeks. I do think they are a competitive football team.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little disappointed in you, though.
That's all right. So is everyone else. But that's okay. But the Chiefs are going to beat the brakes off the Panthers this week. It's going to be kind of embarrassing. I'm looking at 20 plus points difference.
I'm just disappointed you didn't give me Pacheco, but
no, it's all right.
That's
all right.
show.
Angell, what you got for this week?
Man?
All right. So obviously, I'm only gonna go with one game because I'm gonna let you guys do the 2 or 3 games.
No, these are the locks, my friend.
And I know that, and we already know who I really want: Washington over Dallas. But I'm gonna go Miami over New England. That's where I'm going this week. I feel like Miami, this is going to be their week. Tua, over 400 yards passing. Waddle, there's going to be a Waddle sighting. I feel like Waddle's going to, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Waddle.
Wow.
Tyreek Hill, obviously, is going to be back to Tyreek Hill, I feel like. He's going to have over 100 yards, a touchdown. This is going to be their week. I feel like Miami's going to Detroit, New England.
That's kind of crazy.
Putting that much on Waddle, especially with how much
Waddle's
he looks like he doesn't
Bro,
want to be
I don't think Waddle's
there.
bad. I don't think Waddle's bad.
Waddle's a good receiver.
He's not bad. I just
He's
think
good.
he's emotionally detached from his team right now.
A little bit.
Listen, he's going to have a flashback
We'll see.
this week.
Flashback to the Bama
I'm
boys.
not putting another bet on it.
No.
And then Tua, watch, 400 yards. That's what I got.
That's wild.
That's what I got.
Wild.
Watch, you'll see.
All right, I
Wild.
guess I'll move on to mine. There's a lot of blasphemy going on right now. But I'm going to take the Steelers over the Browns. Russ is cooking. I think it'll be closer than people think because, again, it's a division matchup.
Yep.
But Russ, I think, is still going to take it. I still think they might come up on top in that division.
They can.
They
can.
can. And then my following 2 games, I'm going to have upsets. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears to upset the Vikings. So, honestly, and that is an absolute upset. Are we all agreed on that one?
It absolutely is. Absolutely is.
So the Bears have been looking good. They just lost an embarrassing one, and they're going to come out angry. And I think the Vikings are probably the most fraudulent team I've ever seen in my life. The most fraudulent team I've ever seen in my life. Yes.
They've been kind of falling off. They've been falling off a cliff these last couple weeks.
And I think right now is what's going to knock them further off that cliff. And I'm like, if I was ever confident about anything in my life, this is it. This is it.
They could lose that division.
Even more so than the Eagles beating the Commanders last week. But
Stop
moving
it.
on.
Stop
Anyway.
So this one is heartbreaking for me, but I'm also going to take the Rams to beat the Eagles this week in an upset. That isn't. Can we agree that's an upset as well?
It is not a crazy upset, but it is an upset.
Cool. So I just feel like, Philly's feeling themselves. They're going to come in like, we got this. Oh.
They're a little
and
cocky.
I feel like they're going to get brought down to reality, which is what happens every single time they go on a huge run. And I feel like that's going to happen again.
Yeah, because I think didn't you guys lose after being on a huge win streak a couple years ago? Didn't you guys lose to the Giants on was it Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that?
I don't think it was on Thanksgiving. I think it was probably on Christmas. But I just realized it was ridiculous. It was
Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah,
Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets.
who's the starter back in New York? But
Caleb though leading the top dog spot at 9-3.
Sheesh.
But you're not. No.
I'm not that far.
Behind.
I'm not that far ahead. 8-4 is not crazy.
I had a perfect week this week.
You caught up a little bit.
Angell, you and John had a terrible. Y'all need to stop picking each other's picks, my friend.
It's crazy.
Where
Y'all
we
been
at? Where we
overlapping.
at?
You guys are both at 6-6.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not too far off.
It's not far off. It's 3 games.
You got to
Three
start
games.
putting
It's
some
only-
upsets.
It's 3 games out.
There's
So
3
you gotta
games
start,
out. What are you talking
Got to
about?
start pulling back a little bit.
But I got one more.
Let's get one more. Let's get one more.
Tampa over New York.
Yeah.
Tampa over New York. If I'm correct, Evans should be coming back this week.
Maybe.
He might. But
That's what I'm saying. Like,
100%.
because I was reading about it earlier. He practiced. He first got back on the practice field.
What is it going to take for you to trade me Evans?
Nothing. I'm not trading him. And listen, you want to know the real reason why I'm not trading him?
Why?
Because of week 14.
What's week 14?
Oh, is that the matchup? Is that
No, fantasy hell for me. Why? Because I have all these damn Washington players on my team, and that's the week they go and buy.
Okay.
And you're already on a skid too.
And I'm on a skid. So if I
it's
trade
rough. It's
Evans, bro, I'm not going to have no receivers week 14. So I can't do anything until after that.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. Evans, he going to have to play 75%. I don't know, but
honestly, he's gonna have to play his heart out. But I don't think that's gonna help him.
I'm telling you.
No,
we'll
not
see.
a quarterback, my friend.
We'll see.
And Russ, cooking, let's go, baby.
All right.
Sorry, I got excited.
But we're gonna go ahead and move on to probably our favorite topic of the week. What is it, guys?
Fire
Fire
picks.
picks.
What you got, Caleb?
Hey, I'm taking Detroit Colts over 50.5 this week. Detroit has covered this in I think if not almost every game
All but
this
one.
season. It's easy. It's an easy pick. They keep setting the line somewhere between 49 and 52. It's like they do it every week, and they just I don't know what Vegas is thinking. Detroit's going to cover this by themselves. by themselves.
They haven't learned their lesson yet.
No.
They covered
They
every
keep
week
doing
by
it.
themselves.
I
They
think it
keep
was only a
doing it.
division matchup that they didn't.
I think, when they played the Packers
It
earlier
was the
this year.
Packers, right? Yeah, division matchup. Yeah,
Because it was like a 24-27 game, I think, something like that.
I think that was the only time they didn't cover the under over.
Yeah, I think that might have been the only time. But like I said, Detroit, they're going to beat the brakes off of Indy this week. I mean, the defense for Indy has not been playing bad, not been great, but Detroit is just going to light up this week. Expecting Sonic and Knuckles to have another maybe 200 plus total yards between them.
The power of two elite dynamic runners on the team. Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
Angell, what you got, man?
I'm going KC Carolina over 41.5.
Okay.
I feel like KC is going to beat the brakes off of Carolina, but Carolina, I feel
41 and
like,
a half isn't that big.
no, exactly.
No, it's
not. I feel like Carolina is going to get a touchdown, maybe two, if that, because KC's defense isn't like, they're not elite. So
Excuse me?
KC's defense isn't
Excuse
elite.
me?
We're gonna, bro.
Listen,
I
KC's defense is not elite.
don't even want to get into that because that's another
That's
hour
going
conversation.
that's going on the talk for sure because everyone's
Right.
That's
gotta
another
chase that.
hour.
defense is not
Excuse
elite.
me? Yes, it is.
Muffins,
That is-
hurry up before we
Listen,
get to
anyway,
this.
no,
I can't even, bro. I can't even.
No, calm it down, you two.
Oh my
Relax.
brother.
Relax.
Oh my God.
Carolina's good for 2 touchdowns, but KC's probably going to give him like 6. So,
Honestly, I think the Kansas City might be able to cover it themselves because off of
Yeah.
this loss that they had, they're going to come out with some fire.
yeah,
So,
Yeah,
41 and
they're
a half.
pissed.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, ooh, I got to put that
That's a
down
good line.
because that's way too low, I feel like,
Yeah, I
especially
think
for
so.
this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'll go ahead and take mine, and then Angell can go over John's. I'm gonna go ahead and take Lamar over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's almost a lock almost every week. Again, they're also coming off a terrible loss, so I feel like Lamar is gonna absolutely bounce back. I think it's gonna be a shootout with them and the Chargers.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So if you're a betting person, which I know a lot of people out there are, Earl, I'm looking at you, my friend. Bet the overs and damn near everything: passing yards, touchdowns, everything. Just bet it all.
Yeah, bet it all.
Okay.
Bet it all.
So
And what
I
is,
did see
John got?
Johns. Johns did hit us with what he thought. Johns is Anthony Richardson a rushing touchdown. So I mean that's a good one. I feel like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
good for a touchdown. He's not gonna throw it all, even though I think this past week he did have some good passing yards too.
He had some decent yards. He
Yeah,
had,
some
he had like
decent
200,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, decent passing yards, especially for him. I would say who hasn't really played up to par this season.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's good for a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he get 2 last week?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
I
get
feel
to.
like he's good for 1. So yeah, that's John's pick. He wants Anthony Richardson a rushing touchdown.
But honestly, I feel it's good. Like he has a little bit of fire going. I feel like he can get an anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
when it is.
Anthony Richardson, anytime touchdown. That's not crazy.
Especially in the goal line work. Oh yeah, because Jonathan Taylor has not been doing good at all.
These last couple
No.
weeks, it's been. I don't know what it is, man. But I'm
Well,
not
it's 'cause
gonna.
They can't figure out who the damn quarterback is. How are you gonna game plan and then change it up every week? Like
Every week.
Honestly,
every week.
just feed the ball to JT because he can carry that offense by himself if he gets that consistent work, and he hasn't been.
absolutely. Well, there's our parlay for the week, you guys. Now, honestly, last one, I'm gonna own up this one. We all hit last week. I didn't. I picked the Christian McCaffrey one, and he kind of let us down. I'm sorry.
I know
guys.
what that's like.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we should have a moment of silence for that, but I know what it's like. Because I think the first couple of weeks, everybody was hitting it, and I was just like, lost.
You keep
I
packing the
couldn't hit
spread.
nothing.
Yeah,
I
and then
couldn't hit nothing.
And then I was doing it, and now Muffins is doing it.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's that season.
it sucks to like. I feel like
Muffin
it's a
season.
trend with everybody. Is your parlay goes so well, and then one thing happens that messes it all up. And honestly, I would rather all of our picks not hit than one of our picks not hit because that's even more
Absolutely.
heartbreaking.
It seems to be a
Absolutely.
muffin theme lately.
Except for last week, all my stuff didn't hit, and I felt really bad. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to our booms of the week. Who you got, Caleb?
I'm taking. I believe I have Nico Collins as my boom this week. He's been.
He's back?
He's back. He's doing well. We're gonna see what happens this week. I mean, CJ Stroud. They've been. He looked good last night.
That massive touchdown that they called back. A lot of bettors are mad about that.
Yeah.
A lot of fantasy owners were like, "Are you for real?"
Yeah. That's a huge loss for him this week. But like I said, Nico Collins. He's back. He looked pretty good. I think he was my bust for this last week, and I don't know if he didn't quite hit it, but like I said, I think he's gonna do well this week.
I think he did pretty well, actually.
Okay.
He did fairly well.
I like it.
What you got, Angell?
My boom of the week. B. Robinson, healthy. He's back, baby.
Many men.
He's back. He's ready to go. I feel like he's going to run all over Dallas this week. Run all over. Like he was back last week, but it wasn't really B. Rob. You know what I'm saying? He was actually Brian Robertson. This week, B-Rob is back. So I expect him to over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns on Dallas this week. Let's go.
I like that. I like that, my friend. I'm going to go ahead and take Zay Flowers. So I feel like the Ravens are going to come out slinging the ball in this. And Zay Flowers is honestly going to be the recipient of that.
Yeah.
Now, Mark Andrews could very well. He can grab about 2 touchdowns in the end zone. But I think Zay Flowers.
Who are they playing this week?
Chargers.
They're playing the Chargers. So I think it's going to be an offensive shootout.
It's going to be fun.
So.
It's going to be a fun one
They
to
do
watch.
have a defense.
Chargers got a defense.
They do have a defense, but
some good guys.
offensive juggernauts have been known to have good success, which is what we saw last week. So I feel like it's going to be the same with this. I feel like this is going to be a trap when I'm going to bet this. I swear.
It's a trap game.
Rough,
yeah, I know.
I'm going to tell
be
you
like
why in 2
struggle.
seconds. I'll tell you why in 2 seconds.
You can tell me now, actually.
Because, okay, so my bust of the week is Baltimore Ravens, the whole team. I feel like they're dysfunctional right now. Like, after last week, I feel like they have some internal issues that they need to kumbaya and get it together. Listen to what I'm telling you.
I'm listening.
Lamar is not, he's not going to have a good game, I feel like.
He's trying to make me trade him Lamar, so he's trying to devalue him in my mind.
I don't
right
want Lamar. I'll take him though if you offer
5
him.
minutes before this game started, he was like, bro, I will give you Derrick Henry right now. What's up?
He off. I'm not going to get into that right now because he's trying to distract me. But my bust of the week is actually the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like the Chargers, their defense is going to really control this game. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my bust of the week is actually the whole team, not a player, the whole team, Baltimore.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't love it.
I don't love it. I actually kind of hate it, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's the worst pick ever made. Next to saying that the Chiefs don't have an elite defense, but I'm just kidding. I love to hate on you. But let's go on. What was John's boom for this week?
Oh, I don't even know what John's boom of the week.
I don't know if he put it in, but
He put it in, but go ahead, Caleb.
yeah,
What was yours?
with my bust this week, I'm taking Devon A-Chain this week to just kind of take a little bit of a dip this week. They've got it's I know it's crazy, but New England, they have a decent defense. They're getting some guys back. Christian Barmore, they just acted off of IR, who was dealing with some, I believe it was blood clots for most of this year is what he was dealing with. He's back. They've got some good guys. Keon White, who's a solid guy on the edge. They signed Yannick Ngakoue off the waivers. What was it, a little over a week ago, something like that. This is
Waivers.
But I mean, still, this is a solid team, and I think Devon A-Chain might get stuffed a little bit on the inside.
Here's the thing: Devon A-Chain's real glory shines in the passing game. I feel like more so in the run game. Like, yeah, he can have a good run game too, but I feel like he's mainly used. I feel like he's just in a dynamic. Just I'm gonna dump the ball off, and he's gonna use his tremendous ability to get some yak on that. Yep. I'll go ahead and move on to my bust. So my bust for this week is going to be J.K. Dobbins. I feel like I'm going to keep this one very short and sweet. He kind of screwed me on my fantasy team this past week by having a garbage touchdown at the end of the game. But I feel like he's actually going to choke this one. Absolutely going to choke this one.
I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
So John's actually, his bust, boom of the week was Tommy DeVito.
Okay.
He feels like he's going to be doing something. And he's on the Baltimore train for his bust. His bust of the
Derrick
week
Henry
is actually Derrick Henry.
That's
not 2 weeks in a row, my friend.
That's kind of crazy. to me.
Derrick Henry, which goes along with my bust, the Baltimore Ravens.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Alrighty. But we're going to go ahead and move into my last topic, you guys. And this last topic is very dear to my heart because we want to talk about MVPs. All right.
Yep.
Now, in that MVP conversation, we have Derrick Henry in this conversation. One name I'm not hearing in this conversation is Saquon and Barkley. All right. And here's a couple of reasons why. All right.
You wrote this down, guys.
I wrote this down. I have a picture. I have everything. Matter of fact, there we go. Right there.
This is trash talk.
Absolutely is trash talk because I feel like the respect that this man is not getting right now is ridiculous. All right. So as you see on the board right there, Saquon Barkley has been stopped a total of 9 total times at the 1 yard line. All right. So genuine NFL teams, that's going to the running back 9 out of 9 times, right?
I agree.
Not the Eagles, not Jalen Hurts. No. So right now we have Derrick Henry right now leading this damn team, leading the damn league. 13 touchdowns to Saquon Barkley's 8 rushing. Okay. Now let's say this was a genuine team right now that gives it to this running backs and Jalen Hurts wasn't stealing all the touchdowns. Look at that. A Hurts touchdown, a tush push. Let's see. Hurts rushing it. All right. I'll give him that one. Another tush push. Saquon finally got the ball one time and then was stuffed. And then guess what happened? Hurts stole it again. Hurts passing touchdown. And then, Hurts tried to, tush push it again and then fumbled it, and then there's another tush push. So that is 9 touchdowns. Now, am I going to say that Saquon was a lock to score all 9 of those touchdowns? No, but can we agree on at least 6 or 7 right there?
I was going to say like 4 or 5.
Nah.
Really? From the 1 yard line with an elite offense?
So I think that would have given him, if they had given him more work, I think 4 or 5 of those could have gone to Saquon Barkley, but they still would have given Jalen Hurts some of that work as well. So I don't think most of those, I think it would have been about 50-50.
Can we agree on 6?
I'll give you 6. I'll give you 6.
All right, so let's put those 6 in right now. So we have 6 more added on to that, and that is 14.
14. He leads the league.
1 above Derrick Henry, which, by the way, Derrick Henry has not had his bye week yet. Saquon Barkley has.
Yeah.
So we can't throw that out there. Derrick Henry also has 1,185 yards. Barkley has 1,137.
Yeah.
Right there behind him. And again, Derrick Henry hasn't had a bye week yet, and that's coming up soon. Yeah. Saquon Barkley, I feel like nobody is giving this man the respect he deserves.
He's
He
good.
almost just jumped out the seat. He's excited.
No, I'm not excited. I'm irritated because Saquon Barkley is the one leading this team into the promised land. He is leading this team, and I believe they're going to lead them to a Super Bowl win this year. You hear it right now. I don't want to hear any.
You heard what I said earlier when you talk about you thought Philly was going to lose to the Rams. I said I don't think so because Saquon Barkley.
I will give that one to you, but I'm not hearing a lot of people out there saying it. I'm hearing Derrick Henry.
You need me to go outside? Saquon Barkley? I'll yell it outside. I'm a Saquon believer.
I love Saquon.
Believer.
I love Saquon. I love him. I loved him on the New York Giants. He was really good at Penn State, and he's been really good for the Eagles this year.
Absolutely. And what I will say, though, is they have a tough matchup coming up against the Rams, but I believe even though they're going to lose, Saquon Barkley, I think, is probably going to go over on the rushing, receiving total yards. Put it in there right now. Matter of fact, you guys don't have to put it in your parlays, but I'm going to add it to mine because that is how confident I am in mine.
All right.
And you know what? I think that's a good way to kind of wrap this one up because I'm done talking about this because I'm going to go on for years.
Yes,
about
you
this
will.
topic.
He'll never shut up if we just let him keep going.
Yeah. So I think that's a good spot to end this one.